Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara. I make content about holistic self-love. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 8 tips for following your dream, leaving your job and following your dream. If you are thinking about that, this may help. I'm sharing this today because tomorrow it's my blogiversary. 18 years, it's 16 years since I left my job in real estate, luxury real estate, to follow my dream and become a sexual wellness content creator. I like to say holistic self-love content creator. That's an umbrella term which does include everything I do. It started off being a blog and then it's become a YouTube channel, it's become a podcast, The Orgasmic Lifestyle, 5 books, coaching, what else am I doing? Affiliate marketing, online courses, consulting, lots and lots of different things that revolve around content creation on topics related to self-love and pleasure. And I've also been a pleasure product designer as well. So yeah, all things pleasurable. And I took this decision in 2009. It was a massive risk, but it's something that I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to my younger self for actually taking that risk and that self-belief. Anyway, I'm sharing today 8 things that have really helped me on this journey that are applicable to any genre, any sector, any industry. And if you are thinking of leaving your job and following your passion, I hope this helps you. The first thing that helped me was that I had savings. Well, I had 2 big payments, 2 big sales commissions that enabled me to live for about half a year. So that gives you a sense of security, safety, because it's so important to feel safe when you are venturing in unknown territories. You know, it's a massive risk, and to be honest, I'm quite risk averse. So if I hadn't had that injection of cash, I probably wouldn't have done it. But it's very there's always a debate of, do you leave your job and go all in on your passion project, or do you have a side hustle and build that up until the side hustle takes over the main hustle and you can finally feel safe enough to make that transition? Those are questions that only you can answer. I do think sometimes that the side hustle route does take longer, and I think some people that I know who are on this path always kind of delay that full all-in transition because they're afraid. And sometimes, the comfort zone can hold you back, but if you go all in, it's kind of ride or die, but that's a massive risk as well. So if you are risk averse, I think it's really worthwhile building up your savings and creating the time to build that side hustle as much as you can. But having savings really, really does help. And because if you don't, there's a kind of advantage of not having anything as well. It's like, this has to work. This absolutely has to work. But then you got to think about your mindset. Are you coming from a place of fear, or is it kind of belief? I'm recently getting into the Kabbalah, and there's a concept of certainty over logic, which I think is worth investigating if you are in this time of your life where you're thinking of making this big transition. Certainty over logic is a wonderful mindset to adopt, but we're going to talk about mindset a bit further on. The second thing that really helped me was that I lost the fear of what other people are thinking of me. I mean, there was a massive fear. Sometimes I was thinking, people are going to think I'm crazy because I was obviously starting a blog on sexuality, but I don't think it's just, the topic of sexuality is something that people will find uncomfortable, and I've been judged for in certain contexts and certain moments of my life. But I think whatever you do, whether it's kind of risque professionally or a personal project, there always are going to be people like, oh, who does he think he is? Who does she think she is? What is she doing? Oh, that's terrible. But I just think sometimes maybe don't explain too much to people who are naysayers. You have to think about, who are the people who are supporting you in your life? Are their opinions based on, what are they based on? Are they based on knowledge, fear, jealousy? You just never know, really. So I think it's important to, really tap into your own feelings and opinions on things, and not be too swayed by other people, unless it's someone that you really trust and who has taken a similar route to you, because that really does help. Yeah, so I lost the fear about what people are going to think of me, and that was so liberating, because I was in a situation where I realized that no matter what I did, it was never going to be good enough for certain people in my life. So I thought, well, I may as well live my life according to my rules, because these people who are the naysayers, they are not the ones paying my bills. I am. So I think you owe it to yourself to give yourself the best life you possibly can. And so choose wisely who's going to be influencing you. Another thing that people are afraid of is being online. For example, I think whatever business you're in, there is a kind of aspect of business that is, social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, things like that. Even, being interviewed. So you don't even have to be a content creator or an influencer to be present online. So I think it's really worth overcoming that fear about what other people are thinking, and also about reacting to negativity in such as comments online or comments offline. I just think you have to have a really tough skin. And I think sometimes when I receive a negative comment, I think of it as, this is success. Can you take more of this? Because success means there will be more of this. So it's good to be, have some conviction in your ideas, in your plans, and these things could challenge you in a positive way. I always think that there is a very positive side to negative feedback. It does make you question yourself sometimes. And then, it could raise a topic or an idea that you'd never considered before. So I'm kind of an alchemist when it comes to negativity. I do like to see the positive in everything. I like to see the opportunity in the obstacle, etc. But that's because I'm very convinced about what I'm doing. Well, it wasn't always like that, of course. Third thing that's really helped me is consistency. Consistency is something that is so important, no matter what field of work you are in. Consistency can mean consistency in your ideas. It can mean your actions. It can even mean your mindset and message. The other day, I watched one of my videos from 6 years ago, and it's called "God Gave Me a Clitoris, Hallelujah." And I listened back to it, and I was like, yeah, I've been saying the same things for 6 years, even though many things have changed in my life over that time. Sometimes I just upload videos, I don't even watch them back, because I do one-take videos. And sometimes I kind of go back and start watching, and I just think, yeah, I am consistent. And that's super important. Consistency is so important, especially if you want to, let's say, build a YouTube channel, build a following. You can't just be, I'm creative now and now I'm not, because sometimes what happens is when you get busy with paid work, there's not enough time to kind of start doing the social media promotion, etc. So it's really good to kind of create a kind of backlog of content and schedule it so that when you are busy and working on other things, there's this content is still coming out, because you sometimes, you might not be inspired, or you might be busy on other things. So consistency, super important. And also consistency is rewarded by the algorithms. It really is. And one of the best things I ever did on this channel was in 2018, I uploaded every single day. I did a 30-day challenge in May 2018. And before that moment, I was super wooden online. I was like, hi, I'm Venus Sahara. This is a new, it was just like so wooden. And then after this challenge, everything's just become more of a flow. And it took me until day 24 of that challenge to actually be able to make a one-take video. I call them one-take wonders. So this video is not edited. I'm totally comfortable with my messy apartment in the background, and just making one take and rolling with the filler words and all of the mistakes. Mistakes. Okay, fourth thing, super important, stick to your values. I'm really interested in the topic of values and how it relates to our work and our life in general, and how people make decisions based on values or not. Not everyone does. For some people, it's just all about the money. Just yesterday or the day before yesterday, I had a meeting with someone who wanted to, with a very reputable brand, who wanted to, how can I say it without revealing? They wanted to work with me on something that I've spoken up against for such a long time. It would have been easy money, kind of in a grey area in terms of morals. But I need the cash, but I was thinking, no way, absolutely no way. And I'm just really proud of myself, because I know that once you choose values over money, more money will come. I think there's always a cost when you sacrifice your values. I'm really surprised sometimes when people just do things business-wise, working in things that are not adding value to our world, and they just don't care. They just want the money, and they don't. I think they reframe it so they don't feel bad. But I think having values will definitely pay off in the end. It might be slow and steady wins the race type of thing. So having clarity on your values really helps when you start to decide what projects you're going to accept or not. I think that's really, really valid. And also for me, lately this year, I've been really tapping into my body in terms of what feels good and what feels bad, you know. And for example, I've identified 3 feelings that I want to feel in all areas of life, and those are aliveness, comfort, and expansion. So, for example, I was in the sex toy B2B fair earlier this year, and the old me would have gone up to all of these stands and said, yeah, do reviews, give me some paid reviews, blah, blah, blah. But there was some part of me going, oh, I'm not feeling drawn to this company. I'm not feeling drawn to these products. So I just went to see industry colleagues and just catch up with them rather than trying to generate lots of new business. I did get a couple of new, bigger leads that are aligned with where I want to be taking my business. But yeah, it's just really, I think it's really good to identify when something feels good and expansive and aligned with your values, and you know you are proud of having your name next to this thing. You know, it's super important. So that there is an expression about how long it takes to build a reputation, and then obviously it can be ruined very quickly. So it's always important to think about, is this aligned with what I want to be known for? Very important. So number 5, something that really helped me was marketing skills. Before I was a full-time goddess, I was in sales and marketing for many years. I even started an export department in a printer, and this meant that I was really used to doing outreach and marketing, business development, and that's a part of business that I really enjoy. I often talk to people about this, and they're like, "What? You enjoy business development?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do. I just think it's so exciting to create emails and reach out to people who don't know you, and then suddenly there's a new collaboration that emerges." I mean, I've achieved so many amazing things from email campaigns. And when I was in sales years ago, I had to do cold calls, which is just awful. I think a lot of the world now is kind of phone averse, which is kind of a good thing for someone like myself. I never was that kind of cold caller salesperson at all, ever. I like warm doors. Warm. So I like warm calls. So something that's really helped me a lot is I have a really good way of writing emails. I actually made a video a couple of years ago about I think it was 7 steps to the perfect email campaign. I'm going to leave a link in the description below to that video, so check that out. But something that's really been helpful to me is personalizing the email and having clarity on who you're writing to, who you are, what you're offering, and what you'd like to receive in return. There's several steps to follow. And I know that for myself, I receive a lot of people who want to work with me, and they don't share things like their social proof, their credentials or past. It doesn't really inspire trust. I think these days we have to be very transparent with things like our LinkedIn profiles, your credentials, what you're offering, what you want to receive. All of those things are super important. So marketing skills such as email outreach really helped me a lot. Definitely. But I think you can learn of those things. Lots of resources online for that as well. So such as my amazing video that has worked so well for me. I mean, from that video or from that technique that I've done, I've landed columns in GQ, in El Pais. I've got front cover magazine deals. I received a life-changing amount of money to be on Spain's biggest weekly magazine, all from an email campaign. What else? I've had, even big collaborations with sex toy brands as a designer, which is really the most lucrative part of the work I do. And media things, just amazing things, seriously amazing. So when I think about, wow, all the things that I have achieved through email campaigns, I'm kind of blown away and inspired to do some more. And the worst thing that happens is you don't get a reply. Who cares? Just go to the next one. It's really, really important to keep up with that, keep up with the outreach all the time. Even if you're busy, I think that's super important as well. Even if you're very busy with a project, you've got to think when that project ends, you've got to think about the next ones as well. Yay. Number 6, I think one of my biggest assets, and one of the things or the ways that I've been able to generate repeat work, repeat projects, and clients who want to work with me over and over again, is that I am so pleasant to work with. I mean, this is a really underrated skill to have, a very underrated attribute. Just being pleasant to work with, being grateful, being cheerful, pleasant. This is one of my biggest assets, because if you want something from someone, you have to be nice, not in a way that's fake though. You don't want to be like an opportunist, but in a way that's genuine and emotionally intelligent and listening and asking questions. And every time someone writes me an email, I always reply with many thanks for your email, or I'm just always grateful. I always say someone's name. I never just write back with small letters with no greeting. I'm just very cordial like that, and I think people like to feel seen in any domain of life. So I think that's really important as well, to always have this gratitude. And I've had people say to me, that they, every time they saw my name in their inbox, that it felt like sunshine on their screen, So I think that goes a really long way. Another thing, 7, my writing's terrible. Okay, so what's really important as well, I think is important, is when you're establishing a personal brand, is to focus on your uniqueness and not comparison with other people. Recently, I've published my book, Orgasmic Manifestation, and I gave a speech called How to Publish a Book. I've actually put the speech on this channel if you're interested in it, and someone from the audience of that speech asked me if I'd done market research on this topic to see, is my book going to be successful? And that's like, no, I'm not focused on what everyone else is doing. I'm focused on me and what my message is, and I think that's kind of important as well, to focus on your uniqueness and try and just really bring out your unique qualities as much as possible, so that you are unforgettable, so no one's going to compare you with whatever your thing is to someone else. It's like, you're cultivating something that's very you, I think that's really important as much as possible. And I've been quite a pioneer in the sense of my work. I was the first person to review pleasure products professionally in Spain. That generated a lot of people copying me as well, but instead of focusing on what other people were doing, I was like, that made me innovate and do other things, and took me to domains that no one else could compare, kind of thing. So I think it's always important to just focus on yourself. And if you find that certain people who are, let's say, professional rivals or competition are triggering you in a way that's negative, mute them and don't follow them. Just really focus on yourself. I find that sometimes where I've made a meditation on a certain topic and then someone is like copying it a couple of weeks later. So instead of getting all annoyed by that, I just mute that person, because I'm kind of connected to them, or other people have done that to me a lot. So I just kind of mute them. I just kind of really concentrate on my own stuff, not checking on other people's profiles, other people's stats. I'm just like, let's just focus all my energy on myself, because otherwise that's not really going to be productive. It's going to make me insecure or think, oh, they're doing that, should I be doing that? No, just focus on yourself and what your message is. Yeah. Last but not least, maybe the most important thing, which is mindset. Mindset is the most important thing, and you've got to have a winning mindset. And to do that, there are many things that can help you with that. I think something that's really helped me a lot is meditation and affirmations. Affirmations are so versatile, because you can listen to them while you're working, you can listen to them while you're cooking, while you're sleeping. It's getting these messages in all the time. Especially, I remember once I lost a really big contract, and I listened to affirmations for 8 hours, all this kind of trying to get my self-belief back intact, because I'd lost a massive part of my self-belief. So really focusing on meditations as well, to kind of get you into a more of a space of self-belief, Personal development books really help. Lots of content here on YouTube as well. And really, what's really important is to be around people who are on the similar journey to you, or who are a few steps ahead. That's kind of ideal, really. Or even people who just kind of support you and they're just on a completely different path. But don't be around, limit your time with naysayers, people who are, this happens a lot if you are leaving a job and you're going to the unknown. People who are in the job will be super envious. They'll be envious of your balls to make this difference. They've been bored and they've not had the courage to make the change, and you have. You're going to find people who are going to be really negative. So just don't listen to them. Maybe reduce their time in your life, or have less interactions with them, and try and start networking with groups of entrepreneurs, people who are on a very similar journey to you. And I just find sometimes when I'm around people who have more than what I have, or who have more success in the domains that I'm trying to get into, I find that my mind is expanded. I'm not jealous in that sense. It's good to be around people who are better than you, who are bigger and more successful, because it can really show you what's possible. And you can see that sometimes it's not about talent. It's about all of these things like consistency, self-belief, and values, and marketing skills. I do think consistency is a very big one here, and focusing on their uniqueness, not comparing. So all of these things are definitely worth working on. That's my video for today. So tomorrow I am celebrating 16 years of venusohara.org. I'm so proud of myself after all of the sacrifice I've made. But yeah, it's been amazing. And I'm so grateful to you if you are subscribed to me. If you're not, it's okay as well. I really appreciate your presence here right now, and I hope that I have brought some inspiration to you in this video and to your day. And thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. And may there be 16 more years of venusohara.org. Oh my God. Exciting. Anyway, check out my links in the description below for all of the things I'm offering, such as my book, even ways to work with me, because I have worked with people who are content creators who want to monetize their content. So I have links below if you want to book a coaching call with me. And what else have I got? Yeah, all my social media and my Substack and all of those things. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you soon. Mwah.